Okay, Capricorn, welcome. Welcome to your April reading. Very excited to see what comes through for you all. Thank you for being here. As always, I'm happy to make so much free content for you all. But I need to know if you're resonating or not, and I need to know if you like it or not. And if you're not, that's totally fine. Plenty other channels out there that you're going to love. But like and subscribe and comment. I'd love to hear what you're going through or what you want to say. And I'll keep on doing the readings. So let's do it. There's a lot going on, as you probably would know if you're looking into collective energies, into astrology, anything like that. So we do have some interesting collective soup at the moment that's providing some pressure, perhaps, or some interesting conditions in order to think about our lives, take action, realize our behaviors, and do all that shadow work that I love and we love at Ankara. And the readings are just a way for us to prepare for the energy coming up. So we're going to do a 3-card story, open up some themes, and then we'll do one shadow card just to prepare us for what might be drawn out of the unconscious into our conscious. So when it shows up, we can say, there you are. Okay, let's work on this. Rather than, no, I don't want to look at that. That's too much. Please don't come up, right? So what we believe in, particularly at Ankara, is that shadow work is necessary. And when we engage and consent with it, it becomes far more manageable. We sit in discomfort a lot, and we train ourselves to be able to sit in discomfort, because if we just resist and bury everything in our bodies and keep the doors closed and not look at anything, we run the risk of a very rigid personality that never changes, which means we can't engage with a creative life. We can't watch our relationships deepen. We can't know more about ourselves without that shadow component. So we engage knowing that it's good for us, knowing that it's meant to be uncomfortable. But when we engage, we can go, here it is. And the safer you feel in your body, the more regulated your nervous system, the more you prioritize your self-care, the more shadow flushes can happen with ease and grace. That's what we hope for, ease and grace, not fight and flight drama around, I can't believe this is happening to me. This is totally unfair. I'm always a victim. It's more like, maybe I do need to look at this in order to unlock my healing, right? So Capricorn, we start off with there is a wave of ego death in the air. There is something you need to admit to yourself that doesn't feel good, which is not working out for you. So the ego is telling you a story that isn't quite true. Ego death is necessary. It's actually the place we try and get to more often, so that the part of us that keeps us safe and locked in a 3D paradigm of conscious thought, which is not your whole brain's capacity at all. You are so much deeper and more multidimensional than that, but there is a part that's in control that needs to die, right? So there's just a fragment of you that needs to die, not the whole thing. And it's not saying that someone is going to die. It's saying that there's an ego death. So ego death can be something like, I admit that this part of my life is not working out and I've been controlling it. And I really need to face the fact that I either don't have the skills or I'm not taking the right actions here, and it doesn't feel good, right? Ego death can be anything along the lines of, I don't know everything, and I'm trying to keep myself safe, but I'm actually sabotaging myself. It might be the ego death around, I do actually want more. I'm not feeling satisfied and fulfilled, and that's okay. Or I'm feeling empty somewhere, but I really thought that I would find it outside of me or in materialism or in other people, and it's not there. That emptiness is an indication that something needs to change. So you can be gentle with your ego deaths. You can talk to someone that's very balanced and isn't afraid to have difficult conversations. You can get a reflection from a loved one if they're very balanced as well, and ask them honestly, like, where am I going wrong here? What can't I see? Because something doesn't feel right. You can ask yourself strategic questions, you can journal, you can look up information about that part of your life and go towards the sense of grief that will happen because it is a death, but it's just grief in your emotional world. It's not threatening grief, even though grief doesn't feel good. We need that sense of sadness around, I'm not winning in this part, and I need to face that. It could be a relationship, it could be in your job, it could be in your lack of hobbies, it could be in your health. And it's really about saying, I thought I really knew what to do and I don't. And that level of vulnerability and introspection will really help you, because if you can face the ego death and open the door, you'll have access to your intuition. Your intuition has been trying to talk to you the whole time, but your ego's been in the way. So we need the intuition. The intuition has, your higher self is not bound by the physical form. It's not structured by space and time. Your higher self can see all of your timelines all at once, past, present, future, and alternate. And it has the ability to see it all. So why not speak to that part of ourselves? Why not speak to God, to the universe, to source, to your guides and say, what can't I see here? Because you're in physical form, your soul and your spirit know an infinite amount of knowledge. Your ego will block most of that because your ego wants to survive and organize your reality. And it's important for us to have an ego because we're meant to learn through the levels of awareness. We're not here to know everything. Otherwise, you'd go back to your cosmic place or whatever. You'd transcend. We're here to slowly unravel and remember how powerful we are. So acknowledge when you don't know something, acknowledge when you don't have it figured out, acknowledge when you're failing. Just acknowledge it and say, right, I really thought I knew how to keep relationships in my life, but because there's a lot of people leaving, maybe I don't. Or I thought I was listening to my intuition, but I ended up in a loop. It's the same feeling and the same scenario over and over again. Maybe the people change, maybe the jobs change, maybe, but know when your intuition is trying to wake you up a little bit. If you're stuck in the pattern, it will feel the same. So that person left and then that person left and it feels the same. How am I fucking it up, right? The ego's at play, running delusions. Your intuition knows all, but we just have to learn how to listen, how to be still, how to trust. And if you do it in hindsight, that's better than not doing it all. Yeah, if you run too fast, wisdom can't catch you. So sit in it and go, that experience doesn't feel good. What about it can I understand? Where did my intuition tell me? How can I honor that next time? What were the red flags? What were the green flags? And what didn't I listen to? If your body was lighting up with something and you just ignored it, your intuition was actually speaking to you, but your mind probably was a louder voice. So all we have to do is bring in the balance with the intuition, the mind, the body, the higher self. Again, you're a holistic, multidimensional being. If you're only listening to the ego, you're ignoring all these beautiful parts about yourself. You're powerful beyond measure. And that's daunting. But we need to chip away at the ego and almost say, well, hang on, that's not the truth, because that's coming from fear and doubt. And I'm not fear and doubt. I can experience fear and doubt, but I'm also love. And I'm also this multidimensional being that can experience all emotions with neutrality and curiosity. So why does this situation bring up so much of that one feeling? And why am I blocking all the other feelings? Right? Why am I repressing my anger and my rage? Why am I repressing my jealousy? Why am I sidelining my grief? Why aren't I just experiencing it? And why don't I have space in my life to experience it? Do I need to create the space? Here we go, Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is urging you to take action around what isn't serving you, what your intuition is telling you, and take actions aligned with what you need. If you need the space to feel, take the space to feel. Yes, you will have to have uncomfortable conversations. Yes, you will have to take some time off work and the hustle and the grind and the, you will have to do the work. journaling, reading, prioritizing time alone, being out in nature, all of the things, integrating, having therapy sessions, healing sessions, whatever it is for you to learn, because Knight of Cups pulls in sentiment and the emotional maturity of actually understanding your emotions. If you're not emotionally aware, which most of us aren't really, because we've never listened to our emotions. We've always just said, like, oh, anger means this, sadness means that, jealousy's bad, resentment, oh, scary. But there's a lot of research out about emotions now, and your body doesn't lie. You don't say, I'm going to create the neurotransmitter that feels like jealousy right now, and I'm going to stash that in my left rib. It's not conscious. Your body is experiencing things and giving you signal indicators. It's very wise. It's actually profoundly wise what your body can do. And it's not lying, but your thoughts and your judgments of the feeling is not helping. So we actually need to follow the emotional field now, Capricorn, for April. Intuition and feeling are intimately linked. Why does that person in that situation bring up this one emotion? And is that the emotion I want to be feeling? And what is the emotional signal? Right? Go into the emotional depths, and then the emotion should show itself and unlock and hopefully get out of the body. So it might be a purging, yawning, crying, laughing, coughing, tiredness, the ability to move. This is all the body getting rid of it finally. Oh, so good. Get it out of my cells. Make space, right? Because if you repress and you stash it, your body can only hold so much, and you'll watch it change. You'll either put on weight, lose weight, develop a condition, right? So repressed emotions can lead to masses and lumps and things growing because your body's really just, oh, okay, I'll hold that. I'll hold that. Yep. Okay, I'll put that there. Okay, stress. Oh, okay. So sometimes the body has no choice but to start conserving resources, right? So a lot of people start putting on weight when the body is in some kind of survival mechanism, and the body goes, oh, we're stressed. Something's happening here. Why don't we prepare for some kind of famine that's happening, some kind of scarcity? Because this person is very stressed. We're very stressed. First of all, I need to protect the vital organs. So that would relate to weight going on in the midsection and all where the organs are. It can relate to nutritional deficiencies, because sometimes we're repressing an emotional state and not resolving and not healing something, and there's only so much that the body can take. So what if we put the body as a far more powerful and wise source than we've been giving it credit for? It's just not the meat suit that means that we can get through this life. It's actually incredibly linked to the neurotransmitters, to the higher self, to the soul, the spirit, intimately. But we put our brains in charge of everything. So get your brain out of it, Capricorn. Get the ego death. I don't have it all figured out. Great. Let that flush out. Look at your intuition. What are you trying to tell me about this situation that I'm trying to control? And then take actions aligned with what you need emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. What do you need? Do you need better people around you? Do you need more support? Do you need more physical touch? Do you need more connection, more conversation? Do you need better hobbies? Do you need to be laughing with your friends more often? Do you need more boundaries? Do you just want everything to be smooth? What do you need? And prioritize it. It's really important, because there is a need, and you can probably flourish under far more connection than what you're getting, is what I feel. Shadow card for you, Capricorn, is the Elk, number 10, right? So it very much talks about, if there's insecure people around you, it's not your responsibility to make them feel secure, because you actually can't. Security and safety comes from within. Self-responsibility tells us that, you know, my problems are mine and your problems are yours, and I can hold space for you to unlock your problems, right? I can be in such a vibrant, loving state that you're more likely to think about your problems in a different way, but nobody's problems are yours. You can witness, You can support, but self-responsibility is self-responsibility. So this scenario tells me that there's someone in your life that's incredibly insecure and is putting weight on you because of it. Maybe they're projecting, maybe they're blaming, maybe they're even subtly saying, like, I need you to help me with this. And it might be an opportunity to deflect that and say, hang on, that's yours. I've got my own problems to deal with. And if I take responsibility for my insecurity, my loneliness, my deficiencies, my weaknesses, then I can sit in front of you and connect with you from a place of high integrity and authenticity. But your problems are not mine, no matter what our contract is, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a partner, a child, a mother, a friend, a sister, a lover, it's still, you have the right to be a sovereign being. And we hope for even respectful, fluid, deep connections. We hope for life-changing soul contracts, but they take work. And primarily, the best thing you can do for everybody in your life is take responsibility for your own health, your own problems, your own sovereignty. Feel connected to yourself, do the inner work so that when you sit in front of people, you are as whole and as loving as you possibly can be. And they will draw strength from that, right? But if we sit in front of each other deficient and lying to ourselves, then codependency is like our last resort, right? It's like the remedy to the lack of self-responsibility that we refuse to take. So it's like, well, how about I take your problems as mine and I'll be good at that because you're not good at that. And then I'll fill that deficiency within you so that you can not do anything about it. But then I need a whole bunch of stuff done for me because I don't want to look at that. We're coming out of that bubble now. Sovereignty says, my problems are mine and I'm going to act upon them. Yeah. So that's going to be pretty dense work. Have a think about the people in your life, what your intuition is telling you. Go towards ego death. I assure you, it's only uncomfortable for a little while, and then you'll feel like this huge, big change and this relief. Yeah. And sit down with the people that you love. Take action towards more emotional and spiritual fulfillment. Prioritize that. It's important. And realize that we've all got insecurity and we can learn about it, but other people's insecurity is not yours. They've created it. It's their reality. They have every opportunity to help themselves, to change themselves, to go to therapy, to Google it, all of the things. The resources are there. If you've got internet and you've got a phone, free resources are everywhere, right? So let's take responsibility for that. All right. I love you, Capricorn. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next month.